Welcome to Feral Friday Podcast, Unhinged and Unbothered, a podcast where we talk about smut, monsters, fanfic, and everything in between. Listener discretion is advised. Please see the episode description for additional details.
The Minotaur gently laid Deliora down on the bed, his eyes never leaving hers. He leaned down and whispered in her ear, "You are mine now, Fey Princess. I will ravish you in every way." Deliora's chest heaved as she nodded, her body trembling with both fear and excitement. She knew that this was going to be a night she would never forget, one that would change her forever. The Minotaur's hands roamed over her body once more, caressing her delicate wings and tracing the curves of her slender form. His fingers reached down and began to gently fondle her breasts, his rough touch sending waves of pleasure through her body. Deliora moaned softly, her body arching towards his touch. She could feel the heat of his desire, the raw power that he possessed. She wanted him, needed him inside her, and she knew that he was the only one who could satisfy her deepest desires. As the Minotaur continued to caress her, Deliora's eyes drifted down to the bulge in his pants. She could see the outline of his huge cock, and she felt a surge of arousal as her own desire intensified. She reached down and began to unbutton his pants, eager to feel his massive member in her hands. The Minotaur groaned as she fumbled with his pants, his hands gripping her waist and pulling her towards him. His cock sprang free, thick and veiny, stretching out before her. Deliora's eyes widened as she took it in, her heart racing at the sight of his enormous length. She wrapped her fingers around his shaft, marveling at the thickness and hardness of his cock. It was unlike anything she had ever felt before, and she knew that she had to have it inside her. As the Minotaur continued to caress her, his fingers slipped lower and lower, teasing her slit and driving her wild with desire. She moaned softly, her hips bucking in response to his touch. She needed him inside her, needed to feel his cock stretch deep within her, filling her completely. Deliora lifted her hips, guiding the Minotaur's cock towards her entrance. She could feel the tip of his cock pressing against her tight pussy, the thickness of it causing her to gasp in pleasure and pain. And that was an excerpt from Savored by the Minotaur, a spicy, fey erotica short story romance by K.C. Hensley.
Can I tell you why I picked that excerpt?
Please.
Yes, please.
Because the question that I have is, as a Minotaur who wears pants, like, how is he wearing those pants? Is it just on his back two legs? Does it cover his whole body?
Well, does he walk on his back two legs, or is he like I guess
where's
we need
his
a
penis
minute
in?
for anatomy question. Well, have you seen the centaur meme thing about like how would a centaur
Yes,
wear pants? Yeah.
Yes.
that's exactly like where I'm going with that. Yeah.
Right.
No, I think a minotaur is bipedal. It walks on.
Is
Yeah,
it?
I do believe minotaurs are bipedal
Yeah.
in these worlds. So they have
Okay.
hooved two legs and then they have human hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
Because
helps,
otherwise,
'cause I was
being
like-
diddled, being
He did
diddled
talk
by
about his
hooved
fingers.
hands would be very
That-
uncomfortable.
That would be something.
Right.
I don't like
I'd be
that
like,
image.
Did you wash your hooves and get them trimmed first?
I don't like
But
that.
it's really funny that you chose a minotaur because in like the last 2 weeks while we were on our recording break, I listened to Morning Glory Milking Farm, which is
A+.
very minotaur
A
heavy.
plus. Yes.
Very good. And then also listened, I don't know if you know this, but Sienna Costa also did Blue Ribbon Romance,
Mhm.
which is the male character's point of view.
POV.
So I listened to that as well. And then I also listened to My Minotaur Husband, which is by Leon Riley. So very similar.
You two were connected.
Just
Yeah, we
on
were
the
just
same
connected on the
vibe.
same level. But I was
I
just like
read
in a
this one
Minotaur
as like a
mood, I
palate
guess.
cleanser. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had this one on my Kindle and I used it as a palate cleanser. It was literally like an 8-minute book, which I thought was really funny because you open Kindle and it tells you how long the book is, and it's
Mhm.
like under 30 minutes, and I was like, great. And then I'm like reading it and it's like 4 minutes left in the book, and I was like, oh, okay.
Here we are.
All
I'm
right.
so fast at reading.
I am speed.
But there's a lot of
And then it was
prep that seems to need to be done for Minotaur relations.
I mean, there's a lot of fur in that general.
Like at least like in
area.
Morning Glory Milking Farm, they didn't like go straight to sex. Like there was lots of preparations and in the other one that I read too, like there was like multiple size dildos that they used beforehand. It was kind of stressful a little times. I was like,
preparation.
yeah, like they were
Stretching.
like very concerned about
Got
making
it.
sure that they could take this Minotaur dong.
Well,
Well,
good.
listen, appreciated
Good.
because ow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if Minotaurs are my cup of tea, which is weird because usually I'm like on the monster train here
Mhm.
for all the monsters.
Yeah.
I don't know if Minotaurs do it for me.
I
Is it,
don't
like, too
think so
cow-like?
either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that
maybe
freaked me out a
I
little bit.
have a history in agriculture, so maybe that's just like too close for home. And I just like it's just too close to the line.
I have a history in agriculture, says Kitty.
I like literally went to school for agriculture.
Yeah.
So
I could see
I
that.
can
I was just
see.
kind of I burned through the whole Camber Creek series in audiobook form in the last 2 weeks. And then the Minotaur husband popped up a suggestion by the library, and at the library was like, Hoopla was like, we got you, girl.
perfect. Thank you.
I was like, sure, why not? I have a commute and I'm working on pottery for a market. Like, I just will keep listening to these things. So
There you go.
that was a good cold open, though. Like,
Thank you.
gotta love a big cut.
I had recorded another one from the same book, so basically we could read it or listen to it next week, and then you would have heard the whole book.
Perfect.
Like you
should
don't
do that.
have to download it. Yeah, you don't have to
You're
download
reading
it.
along with Sarah too.
Summertime was meant for minotaurs and farm
I mean-
animals, I guess. Like,
Oh.
Yes.
Cool. Moving on.
I don't like that.
Gross. All right. So, Kitty, what are you reading?
Kitty has left the building. Her brain has left the building. And she is still, I think we're probably like 8 weeks in now. This has got to be like a record for me. And again, I need to stress that it is not because of the book. It is because of my own things going on. Yes, I'm still reading Running Up That Mountain, Part 1 by Lexa Luthor. Still loving it. I just, brain off in life. So,
That's all right.
but we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Marie, what have you been reading?
I am currently reading something that is not smut. I did binge the first 2 Anna Hung books, Twisted Games and Twisted Hate or
Something.
oh my goodness.
I can see the
My-
covers in my mind.
It's
One of them's like
Twisted
pink.
Love and Twisted Hate, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
1 and
believe
2.
you.
Yes, yeah, something like that. The first 2, they were really good, but I did do it like back to back, and that third act breakup. It gets to a point where I'm like, I needed to read something else. So I'm reading The Outlaw Ocean by Ian Urbina, I believe is his last name. And it's kind of like a documentary style book where it goes into depth as to all of the loopholes in the laws in the like uncharted seas when it comes to like fishing and maritime laws, where you can and cannot fish, what are the living conditions on board of the boats, crazy stuff, but it's a dense book. Like I'm doing like the audio book with the physical book at the same
To
time.
absorb everything.
But it's really interesting, but it's completely off my normal course of books. But I thought I'd give it a try, and I am enjoying it.
Why not?
Nice.
How about Sarah 1? What are you currently reading?
Yeah, I got into a pickle with multiple arcs, and then like our normal book club of books. But I am currently reading an arc of A Song and Scepter, by Liesl West.
Liesl, yeah.
I think I don't know if it's their first book or not, but it is full of stabby mermaids. So mermaids and undersea creatures. You have kind of like arranged marriages, but not, and it is very interesting. You have like an assassin mermaid situation. She has killed like 2,000
Damn.
targets. Yeah, very like when we're talking stabby, we're talking like
Real
she
stabby.
has like been like an assassin for hire for this other mermaid creature, and she is like bound to them under oath, and is hoping this one last job will get her out of it, and so she can move on with her life. And so I'm about like 35% through. It's really interesting. I've been like super exhausted because it's been so hot the past couple of days, so like I haven't read as much as I want to, but like I'm really looking forward to getting through it. So and finishing and seeing how it turns out. But she's like kind of like a goth mermaid, like she has like black hair, and like I don't know, she's from like the abyss, and they're up in like the more like the higher, there's like these like levels of the sea that they're under. So like if you're from the abyss, you're like, you know, dark and dreary, where they're like up where things are like pink and turquoise and like floofy, and she's like, oh god, like so it's very, very interesting dynamic. So I'm enjoying it. So
I'm excited.
and as I
also
mentioned
got that
before,
one.
yeah, it's good. And then of course, like all the audiobooks I mentioned, I'm like a ton of different smutty audiobooks to keep my mind occupied. But Sarah too, what are you reading?
I just started last night A Soul to Touch by Opal Reyne, the third Duskwalker. So I just started last night. I think I'm like 15% in, but I love this female main character. Adore her. Like right off the bat, she's awesome. She's funny. I like her like snarky disposition. She is an Asian main character, and in the beginning of the book, Opal thanks specifically in her acknowledgments her sensitivity readers who helped her make sure that she got the Asian character right.
Yes.
And so far, you know, she's done a great job. Like there's been nothing where you're like, hey, whoa. But I love the character. I love the Mavka, the Duskwalker so far. Their backstory is really interesting, and I'm really excited to see the rest of it.
Nice.
I can't wait to read that one. It's, of course, on my TBR. I love Opal Reyne. I really, really
Love
want
her.
that plushie that they're doing.
I know.
Of the Duskwalkers.
yes.
I put it on my wish list, like, for Ted to get me, and he was like, really? You want this? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
I'm like, I know I don't normally do plushies. It's not my thing, but I was like, I want this one. Like, I want this plushie.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Ted, this is your sign. I
Yeah.
know you're not.
Do
but
it.
We can. We can.
But like, I love those books, and she's doing so good.
Yeah.
So,
All
it's super
about it.
exciting.
I
So,
think does
today-
Opal use, I was gonna say, does
No,
Opal
go
use
ahead.
they them pronouns or she her pronouns?
Oh, you're probably right.
I don't know. I just want to.
I don't know because I don't follow
acknowledge
any authors.
that.
So I never know anything.
I'm gonna look.
I'm
it up, but
in
continue
Opal's
on.
Discord, so I could very easily check that and find out.
Well,
let's-
Don't worry, because we're going to have more opportunity to talk about Opal. So I'm just going to give you that little
She, her.
foreshadowing into the episode.
Oh.
She, her? Great.
Yes.
Okay,
Whew.
awesome.
That was an easy way to check.
Good job.
And if you're not in Opal Reyne's Discord, I highly recommend it because there is some very spicy, not safe for work commissioned art in there that she shares, and lots of updates, and the community in there is extremely positive and like really nice, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So anyways,
Yay.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to season 3, episode 1 of Feral Friday podcast.
So exciting.
Season 3. Here we go. We are starting off with our 2-minute grown-up book reports, which I feel like is just a good way to start off our seasons. It just makes sense. So we'll all go through our 2-minute book reports. I have the timer ready to go. We'll talk about other books we're looking for, other books that were like honorable mentions, check in on our reading goals. We are missing Ivy today. They couldn't make it. So we miss you, Ivy. We won't be able to catch up with them. Won't be able to get their update, but we'll get it as the season goes on. Let's be real.
We'll grill them next week.
You know, like, it's gonna come up. So, I guess let's jump in. We don't have an oopsie corner because it's a brand new season. So whatever. It's been 3 weeks since we recorded. I don't remember anything. So
Have an oopsie if you're not recording.
Hey.
whatever. So, up first, Sara 1.
All right. I don't even
You
have
are
it
on the
announced. I'm
docket.
totally winging this. Okay.
Whoa, winging it? All right, you ready? 3,
Yes.
2, 1, go.
All right, so my book is called Rare Prey by Tora Channing, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago when I had read it, and this is a really good book. So you have a reverse harem, you have human female main character, your male main characters are 4 alien males. They are humanoid, but they also have bird-like features. So they have wings. They also have legs and feet that are kind of bird-like, but the rest of them are all human males. So they are muscular. They're hot, hot, hot. She hooks up with each one of them separately and becomes fated mates with them. And it happens really often. So it's not really a spoiler. It happens really fast. And she proceeds to like boom, 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 mating all the time with them. It's great. There is some forced proximity. There is some imprisonment that happens. She does get separated from her mates for a bit. There is an evil ex-boyfriend situation, so it's very angsty. There is a prophecy that comes up that has to do with her and the alien species getting back to their original planet, which takes place in book 2, which hasn't come out yet. That comes out hopefully in August. So it's not completed yet, and I'm getting the arc for that hopefully in August, and I'm super excited about it. But I was like definitely hooked from like page 1 of this book. And I was not expecting that, and I really enjoyed it, and it's quite spicy, and the reverse harem is great, and they have to work to come together, and it was just very good. Okay.
10 seconds left. Nicely done.
Perfect. I usually go over or just hit it.
Way
Any
to
questions?
go.
I do have a question.
Oh, go.
Go ahead, Kitty. No,
Oh,
you go.
I was gonna. Did you say it was Omegaverse or just reverse harem?
It is reverse harem, and yeah, it's not really Omegaverse.
Okay.
There is a vibrating penis situation when they mate.
Oh, okay. So this is going to lead me
nice.
to my question, which is,
Mhm.
what's up with the penises, with the birdmen?
Yeah, they vibrate when they are coming.
Oh.
Yeah, for her
Wow.
pleasure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Haven't read that one yet.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like normal human penises otherwise, but they
Okay.
vibrate. Yeah, there's no
Okay.
like cloaca, no like everything else is normal. Like they human, like humanish, like otherwise, but they like they have like almost like angel wing feathers or wings, because they still have arms, and their wings kind of come out the back, but they're bird-like, so they have like bird-like legs, which is a little weird. But yeah,
This is a side note to say that if you've never Googled birds with arms, to do that.
with the doodles. With the doodles,
They're the best.
when they draw it. Yes,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
So
Or
anyway,
like it's just like, here's a seagull with like a bicep.
I love that. Yeah.
yeah, I would say like Tora Channing's writing style, I wouldn't say is similar to Amelia Emerson, but there is that little bit of like angst and tension that occurs in her action scenes, where you're just like, oh, like you're kind of heartbroken for everybody involved, and it's good. Like, I enjoyed it. But yeah.
Awesome.
Nice. All
Thank
right.
you.
Marie, you are up next.
Okay.
All right, you ready? 3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
Okay, so I am choosing to speak about Beast of the Briars by sister duet Elizabeth Helen. I actually was reading this last season. I am fully caught up. I finished the first 3. It starts off as a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which is one of those classic stories that I absolutely love. And the series features a doomed hidden fae realm that has been in the grips of a curse that will only be broken when the 4 princes, each marked by a season, find their fated mate. The female main character is described as an awkward bookworm, with a crazy dad who has searched his whole life for like her mom that went missing, screaming like, oh, she was taken by fairies, and everybody's like, you're the crazy town guy. Little did they know, it was true. So book 1 is based around the Winter Prince. Book 2 is Woven by Gold. It's about the Autumn Prince. Book 3 is Forged by Malice, which is the Spring Realm, and the much anticipated by me, Broken by Daylight, which is the Summer Realm, is coming out September 10th. Oh my goodness, I need to breathe. It's reverse harem, white shoes. We have the grumpy, like, sunshine character dynamic. It's a super slow burn. So be warned that there's like almost nothing going on in book 1, but then it spices up and it gets good. The female main character gets with quite a few people, but there's also male on male, which is very, very hot. And let's see, I think the character development was very good. I'm clearly waiting for the fourth one to come out. And the twists and turns really did surprise me and kept me on my feet. I was not expecting what happened at the end of the 3rd whatsoever. And yeah, that was my timer.
Oh, that's it. I didn't even see that coming. I was too engrossed in what you were saying.
I speed ran through that. But it's really, really good. The slow burn is infuriating, but
it's a
worth the
good
wait.
slow burn though. Like,
yes,
even though it's a slow
is.
burn, it's like, oh, it's so good. I didn't know that the 3rd book was about spring, and now I'm like, all right,
Yes.
guess I got to jump into that pretty quick.
I need to read those
You do.
someday.
They're from the fairy tale May
love fairy
Eagle card, I
tales.
think.
And I love,
Yeah.
I think I chose that one. No. I chose the Sleeping Beauty one.
Okay, no,
I
this
wanted
is the
Beauty
Beauty
and
and
the
the Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody had already chosen that.
And for those that like Mando, I just have to say that the Spring Prince has a helmet that he does not remove.
That's true. It reminded me of Mando the whole time. Yes.
But there is a very, very hot scene that involves the helmet at one point.
Oh my gosh.
In the 3rd book?
Is it? Yes. Actually,
Because I was like, is this one I already read, or is it?
No. Yeah, you might have not gotten to that purchase yet.
Okay.
Where like she wears the helmet. So, yeah,
Okay.
interesting
Wow.
stuff.
Ooh.
That sounds amazing.
Any questions?
Yeah, any questions
Did
for me?
I
I don't have
cover
any
everything?
questions because my questions are going to be spoilers for the book I haven't read yet.
No. But yes, Miss Elizabeth Helen, we appreciate you very much.
Do they have
No,
other
I don't
books?
They do.
They do? Okay.
I believe they do, yes. There's one
'Cause I
more
meant
in
to
this
look at that.
series that I haven't, which is like a little novella, which I think it's about
Oh.
Dayton in the Coliseum, which I'm sure is hot as fuck as well.
Really?
But I have not got into that one just yet.
I didn't know that
Okay.
existed. Done.
Yeah, it's like a 0.5 type of thing.
Okay. All right.
Okay, who
Okay,
is
it's my
up
turn.
next?
It's my turn, apparently. So I'm going to start the timer and go. Okay, so I'm cheating a little bit with my pick because I read this back in like January. But my theme for today's episode is Opal Reyne. So the book I'm going to talk about is A Soul to Heal, which is the second in the series. Number one, it's part of the Duskwalker series, and that's just chef's kiss. So good. Love it because it's a plus size female main character. We see her struggle with that throughout the book, like with her body image, and we also see the history of that, like why she has so much struggle. She has a lot of trauma, which usually I'm kind of like, ugh, okay, like over the trauma, but her trauma story is very interesting and the way she works through it. So like the character development is great. The Mavka, the Duskwalker, he's like an immature one. So he's kind of like dumb and funny and like endearing. He doesn't have a name and he really wants a name that's important to him, so she gives him one, which is like a really cute twist. There is pregnancy and childbirth in this story, like as a very main focal point. But like when I was reading that, there were some moments describing motherhood that are just so sweet and like so spot on, even though it's like this little like demon baby. You're like, oh, that's so nice. Like, you know, the way she describes, you know, the baby like snuggling up to her and it immediately calms down, like stuff like that is just like so sweet. And I was just like, that is what it's like. And then, you know, it is like a happily ever after. We do still see the original Duskwalker 1 characters, the Duskwalker and the bride. I forget their names at the moment. So we have them in it too. But it's so good. Everybody needs to read this series. Just read the series. 2 seconds left. Boom.
Nice. Nice.
Orpheus. Thank you.
Yes.
Orpheus and something.
I don't know the chick's name, but Orpheus.
Orpheus. Thank you.
I want to say
I
her
don't
name
remember.
started with an L. I don't know why.
I don't remember.
Who the fuck knows?
That was
Couldn't
last
tell ya.
fall. That was so long ago.
Yeah, couldn't tell you. That was one of the first like smutty books that I read. That besides, you know, like Bigfoot and like The Mummy, like one of the first like good ones with a good plot
Yes.
that I read.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would
So it
say
holds
that's
a
the
special
first,
place in
like,
my heart.
Good monster smut, I would say.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I
you
love
love.
that character. Like both of those characters, they're so good.
Mhm.
I know some people got annoyed with how like stupid he is. For as long as
I
he
thought
is,
it was
but, like,
funny.
he's
Right.
so funny, but he tries hard, and
Right.
like he's
He's just a little
endearing.
derpy.
Yes.
Yeah. Which,
Some
you know,
And like
what?
the only way for him to get smarter is to
Yeah.
eat more humans. But now he's got a human, so he doesn't want to eat more humans. So like, you know,
the
He's
moral
stuck
dilemma
between a rock
of
and a
the
hard
century.
it's right.
Yeah.
There's a conflict of interest there.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of cute. Like he's like, I might be stupid, but I'm not immoral. So
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Although then they do figure it out because she gets her
Right.
revenge. Yeah.
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 Yes.
he's like, aha, a solution.
Right?
Sanctioned solution.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Kitty.
Awesome.
Your turn.
My turn. Okay.
Your turn. All right, I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so my book report this time is An Army of One by Liesl Luthor, which I think is book 6 in this series that I have not shut up about for the last 3 months. And really, this is just going to cover like the whole series so far because it's just so good. So the first thing you need to know, my fan casts for the main characters. So this is again to kind of recap a sapphic Omegaverse girl dick story. Okay, those are all the the 3 things you need to know. And my fan cast, like, I think you would like this book if you watched the show The 100 and you wanted Lexa and Clark to be together and you didn't want Lexa to die. Okay, yes. Those are literally my fan cast. That's just who I picture every time I pick up these books to read, and I think it's perfect. Yeah, that's just perfect. That's all you need to know. If you liked The 100, I think you're going to like this. If that was your bi awakening, hello. So, okay, I just have random questions that I'm going to answer. So, if you could bring one aspect of the story into the real world, what would it be? Outer space travel. So this is like sci-fi, fantasy.
Not girl dick?
Megaverse. Okay. Yes, absolutely girl dick.
But like, that was implied already.
It was definitely like that's.
Oh, sorry, I digress. You get extra time.
Girl dick. Okay, so it has to be said then. 100% outer space travel and magic, because hello, this book has it like weaves the sci-fi and the fantasy elements really well together, and I'm a big fan of that. I love both sci-fi and fantasy. Love it. So the whole thing about this Omegaverse that's a little different is the one main character is a human. She's from Earth. No special Omegaverse makeup in her at all. But her partner, who is Cal, and she is like the ruler of the planet, also has a god living inside of her. Really cool, interesting stuff. She is a Karnak alpha is what they call it. So she is both an alpha and an omega. So she has a pussy and she has a dick. And it's like really, really interesting how Lexa Luthor has like tied in all of this like mythology and lore for the planet. Like, I don't know. It's just fascinating. Every book in this series I have given at least 4 stars, and there's 7 books right now. Plus there's like a in-between book from Cal's point of view, like after every book. So all the main books are from Charlie's point of view, then just a little like 100-pager from Cal's point of view.
Wow.
And they're so good, and I love them. And if you need like a mega series, the end.
You got me.
And I let you go so far over.
Oh my god. Sorry.
It's fine.
Okay, yeah, because I haven't talked about this series enough already on this podcast.
No, it's cool to know about like the extra lore and the
Yes.
I
like the in-between books. That's cool.
Yes, yeah. And how she does it, like, it's not like an info dump kind of thing. Like, you're definitely like learning as each book goes on, and she like introduces like more and more stuff, and it is so fascinating. Like, I am really excited for the last book. I think that's also why I'm subconsciously reading really slowly, because she's writing the last book right now. And I like
those whips are a pain.
I know, and I don't usually mind whips, but like this is so good that I'm like I don't want it to be over, but also I want them to have their happily ever after. Yeah, it's great. Anyway,
so I don't want it to end, but give it to me already.
Right? Yes.
Right.
Both and yes. Any questions about the Girl Dick Omegaverse? No, perfect.
I have a really lewd one, and I'm afraid to ask it.
No, ask it.
What?
Ask it.
Well, now that I know that she has a
it.
dick and a pussy.
Yeah.
Can
she do herself?
Yeah. Can she do herself in a pinch?
I
Tuck it.
don't think so. I mean, that's never.
Are they too close together?
Yeah, I don't think
if they're
that
too close together, I can't.
Would work.
Right.
No. And her pussy is like tucked up behind.
Okay.
Like her partner didn't even notice that she like had a pussy for like the first couple books.
Wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
Because there's like other reasons, like
What are you hiding back there?
yeah, like, and also because like she was just like, she's very much like the alpha is like, no, I'm a giver, not a receiver. Like, I want to take care of you. Like, very much like you don't need to like do anything for me. Like,
That's just my snack pocket.
Something.
Give
Yeah, and there was lots of stuff. So so I don't think that would be possible.
Thoughts?
I mean, I'm
they
sure as a teenager she tried because
maybe
what teenager isn't going to?
Right.
I mean, they do have the super fancy Power Infinity Cocks that there was a cold open about.
Right.
True.
A couple weeks ago. That's like,
what?
You remember that one?
You were there for that, right?
Our Infinity Cock that Charlie, the human, wears, and it like nanobots itself onto her, and so she like feels like she has an actual cock, and like gets to fuck her partner, and it's like
sounds fantastic.
Yeah. But it's like they do a really good job of like, because like the alpha is very much like no, like I don't need, like you don't need to like do anything for me, like blah 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 blah. But they do a really good job of like talking things out and feelings and communication and
what? That's crazy.
I need to stop
because it's women.
It's women loving women.
Right, and that's why it just makes sense. All right, well, shut up, Kitty. We're moving on.
Okay, thank you.
You already told us.
Done. It's on the TBR. So, most anticipated either upcoming release in 2024 or just anything that's on your TBR that like you're excited to dive into. Sarah, what you got?
All right. So, obviously, number 2 of the Rare Prey that I just talked about. So the next one is Rare Royal by Tora Channing. Super looking forward to that. I get the arc, and then I believe it comes out in September. It has been pushed back, but she's just a working woman like the rest of us, so has to make sure that she gets her bills paid and yada yada. So it's been pushed back, but that just means she wants to make sure she writes the best book that she can write for us. So hopefully that does come out in August/September. And then my other most anticipated, that I'm anticipating it for the rest of you because I have already read it as an arc, and that's His Tesoro by Amelia Emerson, and that's Mafia Romance. And even if you don't
when
like
does that come
Mafia, it should be out by the time this episode comes out. I believe it's July 1st.
I cannot wait.
And it might even be like in like the next week or so. But Amelia wrote, if it's even possible to write it, a cozy mafia romance. Yes, there's like mafia violence that occurs. But it's so fucking good. Yes, there's some gun violence, but it's like nothing like the shitty mafia shit that we read like last fall or whenever we read it, like earlier this year.
Right.
Was it like March?
January?
It's nothing like that.
Mafia March.
Yeah. Nothing like that. Like it's not toxic like that. Like, yes, you have your mafia boss that has his like fucking emotional problems. But it's so good. And I can't wait for all of you to read it, except maybe Kitty. But maybe Kitty will give it a try because it's Amelia.
If I would give anything a try, it would probably be this one.
Yeah. And Amelia normally writes these like 700 to 800 page tomes of books, and this is like a little over 400 pages. So,
all right.
She did a really good job of writing like a short-ish book for her, and hopefully she'll write more in this universe as well. And major disability rep, the female main character has EDS, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So is in a wheelchair for the most part for almost the entire book, or uses a rollator, and they talk about her disability throughout it. So just like huge representation there, and I thought that was really cool. Has a very cool service dog brought into the mix, whose name is Noodle, and how do you not love that?
Noodle.
Noodle, And we all love Noodle, so
We do.
Noodle.
so those are my
Justice for
two big
Noodle.
anticipated books this year.
Nice.
At least that I can think of. My TBR is like fucking falling over on top of me at this point. I'm
It's
sure
fine.
there's some other releases coming. Yeah, but yeah, I'll stop
Nice.
talking. now.
Nice.
Nice.
Marie, how about you?
Well, I mentioned earlier Broken by Daylight by Elizabeth Helen comes out September 10th, so just a few months away. And the other one I've really been looking forward to is His Tesoro by Amelia Emerson. So I'm very excited. I think it's hilarious that she named the dog Noodle.
I
have
know.
a dog named Noodle. That's adorable. I don't think that's something that she knew, but I think that is so funny. And yeah, those are currently the two. My TBR is so fucking long, so I'm sure there's a lot more. I just can't remember right now.
That's
How about
fine.
you, Sarah, too?
Well, I don't pay attention to the only new ones that I know about are Amelia's and the one that you just mentioned, Marie. So those are the only two I'm aware of because of you guys. But what I'm excited about in regards to my TBR is I'm kind of on a mission to start getting through series that I've started, hence why I'm back to Duskwalkers. So I want to finish the Duskwalkers. I want to finish the Never After series by Emily McIntyre. That started with Hooked. The next one is Scarred. Beast of the Briar, of course. And then non-smut, I gotta get my hands on Throne of Glass and dig into that whole 25 book series. Which that one is daunting.
It's an
8.
emotional
Is it
investment.
8 or 9?
Something like that.
Once you
All I
start,
know
you
is that
just won't
my Libby, because I apparently refuse to pay money for any Sarah J. Maas book because I have all of them through Libby.
She has too much already.
And-
She's fine.
Right, so we're not paying for that. So what I signed up for in Libby is the Throne of Glass bundle. So it's all of the books will be delivered to me at one time, which
Oh
is
my
kind
God.
of terrifying overwhelming. I'm hoping I get more than 21 days to read that.
I don't think you will.
I would do
I don't think I
that.
really
You do.
Then why
Make
would they give it as a
sure-
bundle?
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
So
But I guess
we'll
you
see
could
how
take
that
it,
goes.
I guess you could just do it in 21-day increments and just give it back and then put it on hold again, and then you'll just
Right,
read
wait.
it that way.
Or you download it, put your Kindle on airplane mode,
On
and do
airplane?
not
And
take
never
it off
turn it on again.
until you finish.
You know what though?
I-
They have changed.
I'm not
it.
above being
you have to
dishonest.
physically return it now, and it's on an honor system. So
Oh.
I
Is
might
that
have
what's
a solution
happening?
for you.
I think so. Yeah.
We'll chat after we're done. I
Alright,
might have
alright.
something for you.
I
Just
am not
pirate it.
above being dishonest. It's fine. I don't care.
Completely legal.
These companies have plenty of
Putting
money.
that out
For
there.
legal purposes, that was a joke.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Much honesty here.
Maybe we cut this part out.
Kitty, what are you excited about?
Oh my gosh, I am excited for a new Omegaverse. This is by a first-time author. Her name is Fallon English.
Oh yes,
And
yes.
It's called, I'm getting the arc, which should be releasing sometime this week, and then it's going live June 28th, the end of the
Yes.
month. So
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
we're gonna hope and pray that my brain is on point. But it's called The Princess in the Pack, and the art that she has shared on her Instagram that she has had done for it is so cute, and it's a white shoes, reverse harem, and Omegaverse, and there's a prince, there's a bodyguard, I don't even remember all the other tropes, but it just looks so good, and we love repping new indie authors, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting
I
that
can't
arc
wait
too.
to talk about it. Yeah,
It's supposed to come today, so Maybe by
She
tomorrow
posted
morning
an
it'll be.
Instagram update that she got COVID.
Oh no!
So it is delayed, but she did say it will be this week. The art will be released this week.
It'll give me time to finish this other one.
There you go. I know I need to read that other one too. So yeah, that's for me.
I forgot about that one. I have everything in my planner, but of
Yeah.
course I have these 4-day weekends that I don't look at my planner. Genius.
I know.
But yeah, I'm
same.
super excited about that one. It looks so good.
Yes, it really does.
Yay.
Awesome. Let's see. How about some honorable mentions that we chose not to do for our book report, but still high up on the list? Sarah, what you got?
What did I say? So this is like multiple books, but it is a series. It's the Heat Haven Omegaverse series by Sara Blue. I did the audiobooks, but there is 4 books total. Very good. No slow burn whatsoever. You pretty much get into it like before 20%, and
Great.
then it is pretty much like every couple, every other chapter you're doing it. So
Fantastic.
I mean, Heat Haven is for Omegas who don't have a pack and need to get banged for their heat. So
Okay.
there you go.
All right.
So
Sold.
it's great. It's great. So like the first one starts out with one particular Omega and an Alpha, and then they move on with their lives, and then the future ones, everybody's kind of interconnected in some way, shape, or form. Like maybe like the Omega in this book, their cousin is the Omega in the next book, kind of thing. So like they kind of all know each other. So then the last book, everybody kind of comes together for a party, kind of thing. So like they're all in the same universe, kind of thing. But they all go to the same Heat Haven because of the first couple, because they fell in love. It became like a news thing. Like everybody goes to this Heat Haven because of this couple. They fell in love there. So, yeah. So it's really cute, very hot, very steamy. Anything by Sara Blue, I would recommend. A+. And then Sink Into Her by Elaine J. Daniels, Sapphic, Tentacles, Mafia-ish. I would not like Mafia, but there's like a kidnapping situation, smuggling mythical creatures kind of thing. So I wouldn't say like Mafia, but like there's like a overlord, whatever. But Sapphic, very good. Tentacles, great, fantastic. Elaine J. Daniels did an amazing job. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
Nice. Marie, what you got?
I think my 2 honorable mention series that I was going to do but didn't. First, I have to correct myself. Earlier, regarding Anna Huang's books, it's Twisted Love and Twisted Games. Twisted Love is the first one. Twisted Games is the second. Twisted Hate is the third, which I have not read yet. But they were very good. And as far as the smut and the power dynamics in the relationships, I enjoy that stuff. Make sure to read the trigger warnings. It might not be for everybody. And then there's Promises and Pomegranates, which was the Monster Muses book 1 by Savar Miller, which is a little mafia-ish as well. Again, read the trigger warnings. It might not be for everybody. It is my kind of fucked up, so I enjoyed them. But I would say that those 2 are the other 2 series that I have read recently that have really caught my attention enough that I'd be like, ooh, you gotta read this.
Nice. Mine. So, once again, we all hail Catherine Moon. I talked about this in season 2, the Alpha of Bleak Isle, Dragonkin series number 1, which means there should be more of the Dragon Shifter series, which is exciting. But that book was so good. Loved everything about that book. Obviously, the Beast of the Briar series, which we've talked to death recently, but it's so good. So I'll give my other shout out to our good friend Juno Delight for twist twirls and tentacles.
Yes.
For our little ballerina tentacle romance. Super cute. It's 108 pages long, so get it done in a night or two.
Mhm.
But it's a really good palate cleanser. Like if you need a palate cleanser for something, Juno's got you. Kitty, how about you?
Amazing. My pretty much the only other book I've read since we did our last reading party. There was one other book, and this
So by
one
default,
far outshone the other. It's not a smut book, but I think it is really important. If you also listen to Coffee and Cauldrons, you'll know that Robin talked about this book because she joined my normal book club, I guess you would call us.
Air quotes.
Quote unquote. But she also talked about it on one of their previous episodes. But it's called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. It is not a smut book. It is a nonfiction about this woman, Henrietta Lacks, that everybody needs to know about.
Mhm.
Everybody needs to read this book. And if you don't want to read the book, there is a movie with Oprah. And they actually,
Okay.
my book club also watched the movie afterwards, a few of us, and the movie did a fantastic job. There was like one or two things that were different that they changed, but everything else was done very well. The premise of the book is there's this woman named Henrietta Lacks who was a poor Black woman from the Northeast, and essentially how she was not able to give consent for these cancer cells to be taken and tested on from her body. She had a kind of cervical cancer, and her cells were the first human cells to be grown in culture. And what came from that is nearly every medical advance that's happened in the last 60 years, 70 years. Like, we're talking, because of this, we now have vaccines, we now have organ transplants, we have better chemotherapy, like cancer drugs, I mean, everything, all because of this one woman. And so this story is about her life, her children's lives. It's like, it is heartbreaking, but it's also really important information that I think everybody needs to know. So,
That's
The Immortal
fascinating.
Life of Henrietta Lacks. Yeah. And the movie
Okay.
is hard to watch because it has some hard, like, subject matter, but it was very well done. Yeah. So, yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
I just put it up in queue to
Yeah.
read. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Do it.
The
It's worth it.
audiobook's
Libby.
really well done too. So
Yeah, I listened to the audiobook. Yeah.
I put in a request for both, whichever comes up first.
And I think the movie
Like
is
it.
on HBO or whatever it's called now.
Perfect.
Now? Yeah.
Max.
Or
Max?
Max?
Max.
That's it. Max. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So,
Okay.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that and listen. All right. Last up, checking in on our reading goals. Sarah, how are you doing on your reading goals?
I am trucking along. I'm at 49 books as of today. I finished a book.
Woohoo.
I am at 13,452 pages out of 20,000 pages. So
many pages.
I am way over
Cruising.
50% for my page count. I'm just under 50% for my number of books. So yeah, I'm trucking along. As soon as I finish this arc, I'll be at my 50% point. So I might just go finish like a 50-page book tonight just to
do it.
do it. So I did like DNF a book the other day, so I was like, does that count? But I only got like 16% in, so I'm like, I don't think it counts, but maybe it should count. I don't know. I don't know how I'm doing DNF.
Count
books,
for
but-
page count, but not for
Right, it does
book
count for
count.
page count, so
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely like changing to like including those shorter books has definitely helped my number of books. And I think if I hadn't
Good.
done that, I would still be really behind because I read so many longer books, and I'd be like stressing because the arbitrary number that I set for myself.
Right.
Short books
So,
deserve all the love too.
I know, and I'm like if I counted audiobooks, I'm at like 80 something.
Audiobooks definitely count.
I know, but not for my goal. Not for
So?
my goal. So
For your
I'll
pages
definitely.
goal?
I
But
would still count them.
I don't count it. Mm-mm.
Oh, well.
But I do enjoy the stats in my story graph. Like
Okay.
looking at it for my like I do count it for like I look at it like every month how many hours I listen to and I'm like, yeah, go me. But I don't count it for my reading goal.
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
I get it.
counting by pages, so
Yeah.
I include them.
Yeah. Next year I'll update it to like I'll change it to include audiobooks, but I'll probably be like 300 books.
Do it.
Because I'm an asshole to myself.
Do it.
Marie, how about you?
I am at 66 books
Nice.
out of 100.
Damn.
So very well over that half-mile mark. I did get called a bookworm the other day.
Nice.
At family dinner, and I'm like, yes.
Correct.
Yes, I am.
Thank you so
You
much.
are correct. Thanks. But yeah, I count my audiobooks, like I just said. And it's a very, very unbalanced assortment of biographies. 60% to 80% smut.
I mean, you're better
Everything
than
counts.
mine.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at. And then we get stuff like the Outlaw Ocean that I've been a week trying to read that I'm here like, oh my god. So many laws. But yeah, it's all good. How about you, Sarah, too?
Well,
Where are you at?
I'm the slacker here. I am at 43 books out of my 100 book goal, so I'm a little behind.
Okay, 6 books.
But that's still
behind.
pretty damn good.
Dear
Right, and like
Sarah.
I'm not gonna be like hard on myself because like the only
Yeah,
time I have to
no.
read is when my kid goes to bed.
Yeah, you
So I've
you
got
have
like
a kid. You were the
2
only
hours.
one out of the
Right, I've got,
whole
like-
list that has a kid.
I've got 2 hours a day that I can read.
Yeah.
I have been cheating and reading during the workday recently because I have literally nothing going on at work, which is going to change like tomorrow. So I've been trying to take advantage of the downtime and read like educational books during the day. Like that's kind of my if I'm reading during the workday, it's going to be like an educational book. So I've been reading a book about Hecate for the past like week during work hours, and then at night, after Luke goes to bed, that is when I read smut, and it's pretty much always smut. Because again, in order to like keep up with the book club and like with the podcast, I'm just like, well, guess I'm gonna read some more Monster Dick. Like,
It's for
all
work.
right.
You're saying
So-
that you choose not to read Monster Dick within work hours when you're getting paid.
You know,
So I feel like that's
a,
honorable.
That's a responsible life choice.
Right.
It really
Like,
Yeah.
Fuck
if I'm gonna
that.
get paid,
Mhm.
if I'm gonna get paid to do nothing, it's going to at least be educational. So
Good
that's
for
where I'm
you.
at.
Good
But
for
I'm
you.
going on like a beach vacation next week we're gonna have like a good amount of family around, so maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to sit with my Kindle and just read while hopefully my child doesn't run into
Well,
the ocean.
that's what grandparents are for, right?
I'm hoping. Kitty, how about you?
Well, I am at 63 books this year so far, which, like, I think
Like,
I've
how have
only
you done that?
added-
Despite
Well,
being in a
because-
lull.
because I read like 50 of those books before March. I was
That's
a crazy person.
crazy.
That is why.
And
That's
then
crazy.
and
Your
then
brain
that's
is
when
like-
I started that antidepressant that like just killed my reading, and now we're off of that and on to new things. But yes, so I really have only read like 15 books in the last 3 months.
That's still really good.
I mean, yeah,
Sorry.
but like some of them were
Compared to,
like,
like,
the
normal
40-page novellas. yeah. But
I
also,
love novellas.
I think
Whatever.
we should write.
Ooh.
We should do a class action lawsuit against that antidepressant, though.
Seriously,
Be like,
it
Yeah.
just kills
you are
me, like-
contributing to the literacy rates going down in America.
right? No, thank you. No, thank you.
It's your
Now I
fault.
want something else that's much better, and I'm
Good.
actually like doing things, which is good. We like
That's
that.
nice. It's good to be doing things.
It is. We also have to do our disclaimer that obviously numbers don't really matter. They're all arbitrary. If you read 1 book or 5
Right.
books or 10 books, however many books you read.
Yes,
you
these are all
go.
just insane, arbitrary numbers that we set for ourselves because we decided just to be
mentally
insane.
unwell.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are overachievers.
We are
We are
feral, but we
also-
decided to give ourselves goals in order to
Because why not?
yeah.
So
To
please
challenge
Keep us
ourselves.
on track.
Yeah. So don't think that you're like not cool or something if you haven't been a really crazy person that read 60 books so far this year.
If you
And
haven't been a
also,
slut for
remember
smut.
that some of us, 90% of these books, if not more, are literally all about cock. So,
Yes,
like,
so much dick.
we're not
So
sitting
much
here
dick and
reading
vagina
academic
and
tomes.
tentacles and other things.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My brain is Swiss cheese, and my reading does not interfere with that.
Mine's like coleslaw, I think. It's just like, if you
Yeah.
shook my head, it would just make weird sloshing sounds.
Yeah.
So,
Valid.
There's a lot of air.
I couldn't
Like
remember
wind.
the movie Wizard of Oz the other day. Let's just say that.
Oh.
It's
I
fine.
mean, you know.
It's fine.
That's
It
fine.
is. Okay, well,
Well, that's a
We
wrap.
did it.
That is a
It
wrap.
is. We have so many
Well,
fun
look at
episodes
us.
planned for you people and so many guest
So many.
authors.
seriously.
Like,
Oh, that's so exciting.
Mhm.
just like in the
Uh-huh.
next couple of months. Okay, we have like 2
Mhm.
like confirmed, but it's so many. But
Yeah.
they're like
That's hey for
they're
us.
very exciting for us and very exciting
Yes.
for you, and like just the ideas that we came up with are so exciting. We
Yeah.
can't wait for you all to listen to them, and I think
Yeah.
you're going to enjoy them. So
I think
Please
so too.
do.
yes, but
So we're
like-
back, baby.
Woo, we're
We
back,
are.
bitches. So like, subscribe, share them with your friends, your family who enjoy listening to us crazy people talk about cocks
Dicks.
and girl dicks and everything in between and around.
Yeah.
And we will catch you next week.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Feral Friday podcast. Join us every Friday for unhinged shenanigans, books, games, and more. You can find us on Instagram at Feral Friday Pod. Did you know we have a website? Visit us at www.feralfridaypod.com. Make sure to give us a like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. If you'd like us to cover a particular book or series, please send us an email at bferal@feralfridaypod.com. Happy reading!
Feral Friday.